Safety sense. Construction sites are incredibly dangerous places to be, and safety should always be a top priority. To ensure that everyone on the construction site is safe, it is essential to practice proper safety protocols. Knowing and following the essential safety practices for construction sites is key to preventing and avoiding injuries, accidents, and fatalities. This guide will provide an overview of the most important safety practices for construction sites, what you need to stay safe, and how to protect yourself and others from harm. From understanding and following the safety regulations to properly using protective equipment, these safety practices are essential for anyone working in construction. Understanding the safety regulations. Every construction site is required to have a safety plan in place, and this plan must be followed at all times. The safety plan should be written in an easy-to-follow format, and all workers should have access to a hard copy of the plan. Risk assessments should be conducted before the start of any construction project, and any hazards found during the assessment should be documented in the safety plan. Once complete, the safety plan should be reviewed and signed off by the project manager and all other relevant stakeholders. In addition to the required safety plan, every construction site should be accompanied by the following essential safety practices: the presence of hard hats and steel-toed boots on site, the presence of a first aid kit, the maintenance of a safe distance between workers and heavy machinery, the presence of a safety cord or belt on site, proper use of protective equipment. Hard hats. A hard hat is one of the most essential pieces of safety equipment on any construction site. It is an important safety device that protects the wearer from falling objects, as well as head injuries. Hard hats should be worn by anyone in a construction zone, regardless of their job duties. It is a good idea to wear a hard hat during inclement weather as well, as it can protect against heavy rain, hail, or even lightning. Respiratory protection. Any type of construction operation that involves sanding, grinding, or the use of power tools should be accompanied by the use of respiratory protection. Respiratory safety equipment should be worn by anyone who is in the vicinity of such operations. Understanding and practicing fire safety. All electrical wiring within a construction site must be properly installed and maintained to avoid sparking or short-circuiting, which can cause a fire. When work is being conducted in areas where there are live electrical wires, all workers should be clear of the area. Anyone with oil-covered clothes should not be allowed on a construction site, as the oil can easily catch fire and cause a fire. If a fire breaks out on the construction site, it is important that workers immediately evacuate the area and notify their supervisor. The fire department must also be contacted immediately and the fire contained as soon as possible. Proper use of heavy machinery. Whenever operating heavy machinery on a construction site, it is important to follow safety rules. While operating heavy machinery, it is crucial that all operators are wearing a safety belt or safety cord. This will ensure that the operator does not fall and is immediately pulled back up in the event of the machine becoming unbalanced or tipping over. Since many construction operations involve the use of heavy machinery, it is highly recommended that workers take and pass a construction safety course. This will not only provide essential safety knowledge and practices, but it can also earn workers their WHMIS, Workplace Hazardous Materials Information System, ticket. Wear the appropriate protective clothing. The type of protective clothing worn on a construction site will depend on the type of work being performed. Gloves. When handling tools on a construction site, wearing gloves is not only a good practice, but also a legal requirement in many places. The type of gloves used will depend on the type of work being performed. Goggles. Safety glasses. When operating heavy machinery or working near something that could potentially cause injury to the eyes, such as a piece of flying metal, goggles or safety glasses should be worn. Understanding and practicing ladder safety. Ladders are an essential piece of equipment on any construction site, but they must be used and maintained correctly. When placing a ladder on the ground, it should be placed on a solid and level surface. It is important to use the right type of ladder for the job and to properly secure it. Ladders should also be inspected on a regular basis for any signs of wear or tear. Learning and practicing fall protection. The majority of construction accidents occur as a result of someone falling from an elevated surface. This can be prevented by using fall protection equipment, such as a safety belt or safety net. If a worker is required to be on an elevated surface, wearing an appropriate fall protection device will drastically decrease the likelihood of injury. Adhering to the rules of site access. Whenever conducting work on the construction site, workers should be sure to keep all entrances and exits clear. In the event of an emergency, it is crucial that the site is properly accessible. Access to the site should be limited to those who have a reason to be there. This will help to reduce the chances of someone accidentally wandering onto the site. These construction site safety practices are essential for staying safe on a construction site. They will help to prevent and reduce the likelihood of accidents and injuries, thereby enabling all workers to complete the project in a timely and safe manner. However, even with all of these essential safety practices in place, there is still the chance of injury occurring. In the event that you are injured on the site, it is important that you receive medical attention immediately. While construction accidents are unfortunate, it is possible to reduce their frequency through the implementation of safety protocols. With these essential safety practices in place, everyone on the site will be better protected from harm. Conclusion. Construction sites are incredibly dangerous places, and it is essential to practice proper safety protocols. To ensure that everyone on the construction site is safe, it is essential to follow and practice these safety practices. From understanding and following the safety regulations to properly using protective equipment, these safety practices are essential for anyone working in construction. Thank you.